Welcome back to the Wardrobe of Woe, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that I am very excited for. The Sylvaneth's latest hero that I think is most definitely an auto-include. Now, hopefully by the end of this video, you will understand why I think that the Lady of Vines is so powerful that you should be wanting to take her every time. Um, and I will also be talking about how best to utilize her and what this means for Sylvaneth moving forward. Now, something to keep in mind is at the time of recording this video, the new Sylvaneth Battle Tome is not out yet, so I do not have access to all of the rules, but we can kind of infer based on previous 3rd edition Battle Tomes how the Sylvaneth Battle Tome will change out, and it'll kind of give us a good idea of what to expect. But if not a lot changes with Lady of Vines in particular, she will still be an auto-include in the new book. So, without further ado, let's get started. So the Lady of Vines is 340 points, which is honestly fairly cheap for what she does. She has a stat line of 8-inch move, 10 bravery, 10 wounds, a 3-up save, 2 casts, and 2 unbinds. She has 2 melee profiles, the Kernothiel's Wrath, which is a 3-inch attack, 3 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, d3 damage, and then Lashing Vines, 3-inch reach, 4 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, 1 rend, 2 damage, and then the ranged profile of Kernothiel's Wrath, 18-inch reach, 1 attack, 2s to hit, 2s to wound, 1 rend, d6 damage. And then her unique spell, which is incredibly powerful, Aspect of the Everqueen. It has a casting value of 7, and if it goes off, Sylvaneth have a 5-up ward, wholly within 12 of her. This is super powerful. Sylvaneth have always had an issue with durability, and having this ward really ups it a whole bunch, especially since it's an aura instead of a pick one unit. And so this combined with some of her unique abilities is really going to have her be the center and the general pylon that you want your army to surround. For her unique abilities, she has a once per battle summon 10 dryads on a 2-up. Super powerful if you just need reinforcements more or less on demand. Of course, you need to be aware that you can roll a 1, so it's not guaranteed, but it's pretty likely. And then here is the other really, really good part about her. Sylvaneth, wholly within 6 inches of the Lady of Vines, count as being near a wildwoods. This is huge. Sylvaneth have always been kind of curbed by their reliance on their wildwoods to get various buffs off or to get bonuses, but now that you have a like a mobile wildwood, you have a lot more flexibility in your movement and where you can kind of fight on the battlefield. You don't have to fight in your terrain so much, you can fight with the Lady of Vines, which is really, really cool. Something that I can kind of see that I have been theory crafting is have a Lady of Vines and a Spirit of Durthu kind of team up, so Durthu always gets that +1 attack, and the Lady of Vines can keep him up and alive with the ward, and if you give her the regrowth spell, or have another wizard nearby to give the regrowth to Durthu, you have a lot of really scary mobile damage. Plus, having the dryads to just kind of pop down on an emergency, really useful. Her other abilities is that she is a War Master, so if you don't know what that means, when you are creating your army, she always counts as a general alongside whoever else you pick. In practice, this doesn't mean too much, but it's a nice little bonus to have. Then she has a combat ability, so at the start of combat, if she is within 3 inches of an enemy unit, she can give that unit -1 to hit her, or +1 to her attack rolls. Or not attack rolls, excuse me, to her hit rolls. So a really good combat buff if you want to get her into combat. I would personally advise caution with that because she is too powerful alive, being that central pylon where you want your army to build around. But those buffs are there if you want to send her into combat. So with all this in mind, why is she an auto-include? Well, in the current Sylvaneth roster, besides maybe a Lariel, the Lady of Vines is the most valuable buff piece for versatility and durability. The ward save spell, which you need to get it off. And so my recommendation is give her Throne of Vines, cast Throne of Vines first, get that 2 up to your cast, and then attempt the ward save. That, alongside her counting as a Wildwood for nearby units, is super, super powerful and exactly what Sylvaneth needed to break through the middle tier or the lower tier, depending on who you ask. And having the ability to be more mobile and more fluid really fits into the themes and playstyle of Sylvaneth. So I am really, really happy with this. She's not the worst in combat. She can definitely dish out some damage, but I would be very cautious with that because she's too important to lose. Having that ward and that mobile Wildwood is a game changer. The 10 Dryads is a great kind of panic button where you just need units either in front of her or to start absorbing an attack or capture an objective. It's just nice to have. It's similar to Alariel's summon, just not guaranteed. So all of these things combined really, really make the Lady of Vines an auto include. If you haven't gotten the Echoes of Doom box, I definitely recommend picking it up. You're going to use every single one of those units, maybe not so much the Glossamide Archers, I believe that's how you pronounce them. I still need to do some more theory crafting and testing with them, but Durthu, Lady of Vines, and Kurnoth Hunters, you're always going to want those. So those are my thoughts on the Lady of Vines. Before we close out the video, I would like to give thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. And an extra special thanks to Nick Hoff. If you would like to join the Patreon, there will be a link to the Patreon page in the description below, as well as a link to the Discord channel if you would like to join the community down over there. And that was my review and my thoughts on the Lady of Vines and why I think she is going to be an auto-include unit. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or a comment, and if you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. This has been the Wargrove of Woe, and I'll see you guys next time.